What you've just heard is one of the many deaths from the monkey, the new major motion picture from Osgood Perkins, Stephen King, and James Wan. Experience it in theaters everywhere this Friday, because everybody dies, and that's life. Let's have some fun.
Hey guys, Madame Ram, starring Toni Collette, tells the dramatized true story of Georgia Frontiere, a former entertainer turned owner and heavy hitter in the boys' club that is the NFL. After her husband's mysterious death, she shocks everyone by inheriting the LA Rams and taking the reins of a major sports franchise. Relying on her wit and astrological charts to make decisions, she turns the NFL on its head and to this day remains one of the most beloved, despised, and controversial figures in modern sports. You guys, I started listening to this and I am absolutely hooked. The twists and turns, I didn't see any of them coming, and I have so many questions. I cannot wait to continue to tune in. The woman who went from singer to NFL owner, defying expectations and shaking up the world of professional football. Madame Ram dives into her relentless quest for respect, power, and a championship trophy. This isn't your typical sports story. Follow Georgia Frontiere as she navigates a male-dominated industry using star charts and sheer determination to make her mark in history. Whether you love football, powerful struggles, or just a good scandal, Madame Ram has it all. Ambition, mystery, and the unforgettable legacy of a woman who refused to stay on the sidelines. Madame Ram, the woman who took on a man's world and won. Follow Madame Ram on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening now. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Big Mad True Crime, where we get big mad over true crime, except for today, we are going to take a little bit of a breather from the very heavy cases we have been covering. Actually, it's just one case. It's the Diddy case. You guys already knew that. Anywho, it is Q&A time, or just talk about whatever time. So I asked the besties in the Big Mad group what we should talk about, and here are your suggestions. So first up is from Mandy, and it asks, what are your thoughts on the Karen Read case? Okay, I know a lot of you guys listen to the prosecutors. I do love them. They are very much on the side that Karen Read did it, and I do recommend that anyone and everyone listen to their take. They go into a lot of depth. Okay, this is the one time where I feel like I'm not in the same boat as them. However, I did not watch the entire trial. I've read a lot of the documents, and with what I have read and the mapping I have done, all that jazz, I don't personally think that she did it, but obviously there were some really smart people out there who disagree with me, so my immediate reaction is, I don't like it. I'm more on the camp of like, I don't think she did it. However, I do think that it's possible that my opinion is swayed because of how fucked up the entire case has been. How fucking bananas. Like, nobody finds shit for days, and then old Chiefy Poo comes rolling through and he's like, oh, it wasn't even like on my way, but I just want to check, and there's some glass. Now, I do know that there was snow, yada, 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 whatever. I know they used a snow blower. However, I did ask around, and they were like, yeah, that's actually kind of smart, kind of normal. Got it. However, collecting evidence in solo cups from neighbors, not my favorite. There are a lot of issues here. And then the communication between witnesses, police, stories changing, fucking weird-ass Google searches at weird-ass times, watches moving, blah, blah, blah. That case is such a fucking wreck that I don't know that there's a jury at this point who can find her guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The fucking weird stuff with the judge and the guy who was like anti-Bev and the house on the lake or the Cape or whatever the hell it was. Like, there is so much. It just feels like this whole thing is a conflict of interest. And a lot of really unbecoming shit came to light because of all of this. And so I feel like everyone's lost no matter what. And I'm more in the camp of, I don't think she did it. However, we do have to admit that there's a lot more I could research that I haven't researched yet. It's just not a case I've covered. So I put more of that effort into cases I was covering. So yeah, anybody who disagrees with me, please let me know why. I'm happy to listen. Next up. Allie says, what about the man who decapitated his girlfriend? Several stories you could touch on briefly, give a break from the Diddy stuff. So I don't know that I've heard of that case. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, maybe it did pop up in my news break. Not totally sure. However, because we're so deep in the middle of a series, I feel like if I covered another case in the middle of it, it would throw a lot of things off. And I think that once we start something, we have to commit to it, push through, get to the end. The shit that's about to come up in the Diddy episodes it's horrible and it's wild. And also it's really detailed. Like, we're going to get into the Rodney lawsuit, which is absolutely bonkers. Then we're going to get into a lawsuit that corroborates some of the things that Rodney said. And then we're going to get into Cassie's lawsuit a little bit more in depth. And then we're also going to see more from Dawn, which I think is really important to hear. There's also going to be an instance where, like, there's a stairwell and a gun and security guards and an injury to Diddy's stomach and a neighbor that's like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, go back. And then Diddy talks about Pac, and then the security guard is like, what the fuck did you say? Like, it's about to get fucking wild, including police officers that are like, you just like need to go home. Shit like that. No, it's about to get insane. You guys, it's been insane. It's about to get even more unbelievable. The backstory was heinous and horrific, but the things that have happened a lot more recently are absolutely fucking wild. And I truly believe that everybody needs to hear this. This is one of those times where I want to say, like, in this country, documents become available. However, legal documents can be hard to get through. There's a lot of Latin and legal jargon, and it is wordy. Some of these are page after page after page. I've read court documents that are over 1,900 pages before. So I understand that not everybody has the time or the want, the desire to read court documents, but they are so important. And so I want to read them so you don't have to if you don't want to, and tell you what they say. It's not always easy to get through, but these people risked so much to file these lawsuits. And if I can do anything, I do want to amplify what they decided to share with the world, because I know after reading this stuff, it could not have been easy. So I totally understand the Diddy case is so heavy and it is so long. This is probably going to be the longest series we have ever done. I truly feel it is so important to cover it in its entirety and not take any breaks, other than like the holiday breaks, but not insert a case in the middle. And in the same breath, if I did do another case in the middle of the Diddy case, it would probably have like a half and half reaction, or you get what I'm saying, where some people would be so upset that we decided to go in another direction for a minute before coming back to Diddy, which they're really invested in getting through, that maybe they wouldn't give that new case the attention that they normally would because that wasn't what they were expecting and things like that. So we're going to push through on Diddy, and then we will get to new cases, I promise. I love you so much. This message is sponsored by Greenlight. Hey guys, you've probably been planning for 2025 for a while now. All the things you want to do, like what you're going to do with the kids on spring break and where you're going to go on vacation this summer. But you've also probably been thinking about all the things you have to do, like budgeting for the entire year. Planning ahead is a life hack that we all need, and teaching our kids to do it helps them to not make the same mistakes that we did. Thankfully, Greenlight is here to help make that process so much easier. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families that lets kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send money to their kids and keep an eye on kids' spending and saving. Meanwhile, kids and teens build money confidence and skills in a fun and accessible way, like by playing games. The Greenlight app even includes a chores feature where you can set up one-time or reoccurring chores customized to your household and then reward kids with allowance for a job well done. It honestly does not get any easier than that. My kids have been using Greenlight for probably a year or more now, and we are never going back. They get money for being adorable and well-behaved little children, but also for their grades and for doing little projects around the house. Every time we load money, they are pumped to see their new balance. And it's been really interesting to watch how digital money management has been so much more understandable for them than physical paper money. They genuinely seem to understand the value of their money now, and ironically seem to be saving more and spending less. Millions of parents and kids are learning about money on Greenlight because, frankly, it is the easy, convenient way for parents to raise financially smart kids and for families to navigate life together. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/BMTC. That's greenlight.com/BMTC to get started. greenlight.com/BMTC. Next up is Terry, and she said, let's talk about dogs. LOL, well, I can just snuggle my dogs while I listen, but what about any dogs that save the day? Honestly, I feel like TikTok is full of dogs that save the day, and I wish I could think of literally any. I did just watch a video on TikTok where this husky grew up with this boy since the boy was an infant, and I was terrified that at the end it would be like, because it was a really sad song, and it was that song, maybe it's like Ed Sheeran or something. It's not Ed Sheeran. Oh my gosh, I feel bad. I can't remember his name, but I can picture him. He's definitely British-ish. Gosh, I'm an asshole. I can't figure. Man, what is this? Leah? Paul? I don't know. Anywho, the music video for that song is where the dog dies. So I'm terrified watching this video that at the end, this like 10-year-old boy is mourning his dog. Thank God that's not what happened. As far as I can tell, that beautiful husky that loves that little boy is still alive, but I will cry over dog videos on TikTok every day of my life, and I'm not ashamed. But going on about dogs, I have two amazing dogs. We have Winnie, or Winston, who is named after New Girl, and he is a husky shepherd, and he is a diva. He is just spicy and talkative, and he lets you know what he wants. I mean, it sounds like rah, 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 and you're welcome for that. If he wants to go outside, if he wants to eat, if he wants to have a pet or a snuggle, he will let you know. And then we have Goose, who is a Malinois, and he is the goodest boy. We had a Malinois before we had Winston. He passed, and it was like the world's saddest thing in the entire world. He's on my built-ins. It's like our mantle or whatever, but it's like built-ins beside the mantle. Everyone can look at my dog's ashes. It's in a really cute box, but like it's not going anywhere. That's my dog, okay? Brody was a king among kings. But yeah, so Goose is our second Malinois, and anytime that like I mention anything about having a Malinois, everybody's always like, oh, a Malosaurus, you're going to be in for it. Honestly, I feel like our Malinois have been the easiest dogs ever. Maybe it has to do with the fact that I do work from home, so I'm around a lot, and so it didn't even feel like we were training him really. We were just around. And I think maybe having Winston kind of guide him like, hey, we poop and pee outside, made things a lot easier because Winston goes to the door when he needs to go out back and things like that. So he's honestly such an easy puppy. Now, I want to say he's probably like 50 pounds. I could be being dramatic. He's probably around 50 pounds and he just turned 5 months old. So turns out he's going to be massive, but that's fine because Brody was absolutely gigantic. Love a big dog. He's almost the size of Winston at this point. Winston just turned 4. He'll be 5 this year. And yeah. So Goose is going to be humongous. Grayson had one of his friends come over to the house while over winter break. And he was like, where'd your little dog go? And his other friend was like, that's the little dog. Goose just grows at astronomical rates. It makes no sense whatsoever, but he's the sweetest dog. The only complaint is that that dog will wake up at like 5:30 or 6 every single morning and let you know that he needs to use the bathroom. And you can't even be mad because I also have to pee at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. So I'm not even mad about it, but your girl misses waking up at like, I don't know, at least 6:30, maybe even 7. But Small Potatoes, he's 5 months old. Obviously, he needs to wake up to use the bathroom. Not a big deal. But I'm human. We like sleep. But yeah, really easy dog. I love them. Post pictures of your dogs in the Big Mad Facebook group because it makes me happy. And your cats, because cats are great too. Hey guys, New Year's are always about fresh starts. I like small changes because self-care, and speaking of self-care, let's talk about some skincare. I've tried pretty much everything there is out there, which means at one point my skincare routine was lengthy. However, about a month ago, I switched out most of my products for OneSkin, and oh my gosh, I don't think there's any going back after this. My nightly routine is now down to 3 products instead of like 7 or 9 or something. And 2 of those 3 products are OneSkin. So let's talk about it. OneSkin is scientifically proven to transform your skin at a cellular level. Get this, their products are powered by OS01, which is a proprietary peptide that the 4 founders, who are all skin longevity scientists, developed after testing 900 other peptides. That is some thorough testing. It is scientifically proven to switch off the aging dysfunctional cells that cause those lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Not only that, OneSkin's products are packed with nourishing ingredients like Andiroba oil, Brew Bronco, and moringa seed extract to naturally boost collagen, reduce inflammation, and protect skin from environmental stressors, all while being free of unnecessary irritants like sulfates and fragrance. When I decided to try OneSkin, I wanted to take out everything else that their products covered so I could truly see if it was as good as they said, and it has not disappointed. I have half dry, half oily skin, and my anti-aging game is fierce. I also have adult acne, so going down to just 3 products was terrifying. But TMI, I went through a lady cycle and didn't even get my normal routine breakouts. My skin feels so balanced and my makeup is sitting pretty because of it. Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS01 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. Get 15% off with code BIGMAD at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BIGMAD. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. Next up, we have Jennifer, and Jennifer suggests that we talk about the people who sat there and watched the physical abuse by Diddy and did nothing. She said, that is the most disturbing thing that I still can't get over. 100%. It is so numbing. I don't know the right word. Numbing feels like the closest thing to know that all of these women allegedly went through what they went through around witnesses, and not a single fucking person did shit about it. Every now and then we hear about a famous person or a security guard who kind of steps in and breaks something up or moves a person out of the way, or an assistant who walks somebody out. That isn't enough. You do not get a hero badge for doing the absolute least, because for every minuscule time I can recall hearing or reading about someone actually stepping in to do the least, there are so many more times where there were so many witnesses and people who knew about it who did absolutely fucking nothing. And we just heard in No, you're about to hear something in the next episode, so I don't even want to talk about it yet. But I kind of do. People who were at least believed to be of authority in the room. I mean, we're talking doors are locked, security guards at the doors for these days-long parties, shit like that. where people didn't even feel like they could leave. Like, first of all, that's kidnapping. That is abduction. If you prevent someone from leaving, it is kidnapping, abduction, whatever, however your statute is in your state. If someone cannot leave your presence, you have abducted or kidnapped them. Just like you can't prevent someone from calling 911 by like breaking their phone, taking their phone, that is also a crime. People checked their phones in. There were security guards at the doors so that nobody could leave without Diddy being notified. You have all of these things happening out in the open. So when you know that there are all these witnesses who are doing jack shit about the same thing that you're seeing and you're mortified by, how do you feel like you could ever tell anyone? Because it'll be your word against all these people who clearly are going to act like none of this ever happened. You're one person, and you know that every single person in this room is most likely going to act like you're fucking nuts if you file a lawsuit, file a complaint with the police, literally anything to try and do something about this. All of the people who are, at the very least, complacent with what they saw, you can assume pretty justifiably that they're going to deny seeing the same thing you did because they're not doing anything about it either, especially if they were participating in it. So anytime you want to think about why everybody's coming out now, oh, they probably just want a payday, get fucked. Disrespectfully, get fucked. With all due disrespect, get fucked. It had to have been so fucking terrifying. And obviously, I know a lot more that we're about to talk about that's even more fucking terrifying, so I'm also speaking from that. The fear instilled in these women is absolutely insane. The things that they went through, the things that they were told. We're going to talk about a time where somebody pulled up a fucking live feed of what this woman understood to be her sister's house. We haven't even gotten there yet. So when these women say they were afraid to come out and say anything, that is why. The means that this man had to ruin careers, ruin lives, and possibly follow through on his alleged threats to make people disappear. Fucking insane. Why wouldn't you believe him? This is a man that it appears ample people knew was a complete fucking monster. And all his victims saw was him elevating in his career. Like, this dude started Vote or Die. So I think back in like the early 2000s, around 2010s, whatever, you probably saw on MTV Vote or Die campaigns. You probably saw the t-shirts. Vote or Die became this kind of like pop culture way for the more young crowd to get into politics. Guess who fucking started that? Fucking Diddy. Of course he did, because why not capitalize on fucking politics? And don't even get me started on some politics shit. And so there was actually, if you're listening to this, whatever, you posted in the group, I've had a couple of reviews that are like, why do you keep mentioning Trump? Like, I've mentioned so many people on this podcast, and the only person everybody gets pissed about, not everybody, but like a collection of people get pissed about, is when I mention Trump being in photos. Dude, I've mentioned so many people, and I've mentioned a million times, just because I name somebody doesn't mean that they're a monster. You don't get pissed when I mention Usher or Justin Bieber or Mary J. Blige. None of you guys get pissed. You didn't get pissed when I mentioned Ashton Kutcher or whoever. So if you want to have your feelings, like, have your feelings, but don't act like I'm a dick. I don't get to pick who he's photographed with, but I can assure you, I went through thousands of pictures of this gremlin and got the dates so that I could put everything in order and let you know what states and cities he was in, who he was associating with, who it overlapped. Somebody was like, oh, you mention them every 5 seconds. Like, first of all, no, I don't. But the frequency at which I mention somebody is the frequency at which they showed up in photos together, and I let you know where and when. I don't make the rules. I'm just reporting on this shit. Put down the pitchforks. Let's move on. This is literally about a fucking monster who did monster shit to a ton of people. Let's stay on point. Anywho, she uploaded a picture and she's like, you didn't talk about this. And it was an AI photo of Obama and Diddy, and was like, ugh, not your best attempt. However, there is a photo of Obama and Diddy. So I'm just going to talk about it so nobody is under the impression that like I don't know or I'm avoiding it. When Obama was running was when the vote or die thing was becoming a thing with Diddy, and like he had a whole white party at one point where he flew in after being on Broadway. I might already talked about this. I don't think we did. And he brought over like an original copy of the Declaration of Independence, because why the fuck wouldn't he? This man could fucking rent a copy of the Declaration of Independence and bring it to a white party. Of course people were afraid of this motherfucker. Anywho, obviously Obama wasn't at the white party. But there is like a series of photos from this interview. You can see that there's an MTV mic in front of Obama. And I think it's Diddy asking him questions or something for some vote or die pop culture-y thing. And so, yes, that is not the AI version. There was an AI version that was like almost if they like superimposed Diddy and Obama into like a person and then put that person next to Obama but named it Diddy. I don't know. Wasn't the best AI work. However, it does appear they only had the correct number of arms, so that's a plus. The real photo of Diddy and Obama is from that vote or die thing, the MTV mic. It's not like that aha moment I think that the people who are mad at me want to have, and it's not a competition. But yeah, you should Google it. It's Obama and Diddy. You'll find the photo I'm talking about. It exists, and that's it. Like, nobody's avoiding it. I'm reporting on the facts. If this included like people I absolutely adore, I wouldn't leave them out, because it would turn out that like maybe the people I absolutely adore fucking suck. Actually, in the episode you're about to hear, I had to quote some really shitty lyrics, which is like a common theme in this case. And unfortunately, I had to quote fucking Rick Ross. And I mean, it is a song, but I do get disappointed because, I mean, I think it's just this proximity thing for me. Like, I wish all the people that I absolutely adore in like the hip hop world had nothing to do with him. It's just really hard to avoid because he's such a high up person in the hip hop world. Anywho, Rick Ross was in one of the songs. I fucking love Rick Ross's music. And so it did break my heart a little bit. Obviously, Rick Ross has a history. Everybody knows that. Well, I guess not everybody, but like if you know who Rick Ross is, you probably know. I was kind of bummed. I was a little bit bummed. But it doesn't mean anything just because he was in a song with him, just like I mentioned in every other episode. Just because somebody's in a song with somebody doesn't mean, or a photo doesn't mean that they're co-signing monster bullshit. It also doesn't mean they don't, because we don't know the facts that haven't been released. But we do have to be fair and not assume that somebody's a monster unless we have any reason to believe that they're a monster. So yeah, there we go. I hope that cleared some things up with people who are super pissed that I ever mentioned Trump alongside Diddy being at restaurant openings and tennis matches and stuff. I don't make the rules, dude. Oh, and they did like, it was some guy I didn't recognize, and then it was a photo of like him with Al Sharpton, and I already mentioned Al Sharpton. Like, I think he went to Al Sharpton's birthday party, so like, yeah. Hey guys, when it comes to mealtime, I am not the one. My husband is the cook of our house, but sometimes we're all running in different directions and we are strapped for time. On nights where mealtime needs to be quick, easy, good, and good for us, Hungryroot is the meal hack we all need. Hungryroot is absolutely amazing for so many different reasons. They take out the stress of meal planning each week while taking into account what you like, your nutrition preferences, and your health goals. They tailor high-quality and nutritious recipes to your goals and lifestyle, from anti-inflammatory to gut-friendly, gluten-free or dairy-free, high-protein, and more. Many of their recipes come together in 15 minutes or less, and with over 15,000 recipes shipped every week, there is always something incredible to choose from. They'll even fill your cart with personalized recommendations, and then those suggestions get smarter the more they learn about you, like what you like and what you don't love. It seriously does not get any easier. Hungryroot is very serious about being nutritious, which is why their food contains no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives. And they only source top quality meat and seafood free of hormones and antibiotics. Prior to the podcast, nutrition was my job, and I was so impressed when I found Hungryroot. As someone who hates grocery shopping with every bone in my body. I'm also a horrible cook, but I take nutrition seriously. Hungryroot is a breath of fresh air. I mean, they even asked if one of my goals was to save money. They also asked about allergies pretty early on, and we just learned that our daughter has a food allergy, so Hungryroot made that process so easy to navigate. They also really wanted to know what food looked good to me, from breakfast, lunch, and dinners to salty snacks and sweet snacks. I mean, they really thought of everything. You're going to love Hungryroot as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/bigmad and use code BIGMAD. That's hungryroot.com/bigmad, code BIGMAD, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/bigmad, code BIGMAD. All right, the next question is from Cindy, and I think it's going to be the last one. My kids are about to get off the bus, and it's going to be loud up in this bitch. Before we get to the next question, I should give you some information nobody asked for. So, because I'm a risk taker and a deal lover, I had the wild idea that we would turn our front room, which is a really weird room, into Central Perk. So my house, the decor is a little bit like light and airy and also haunted. I want you to be confused and intrigued when you're in my house. So we have a lot of gold, we have a lot of black, we have a lot of greens and like jewel tones, and I love it. I also love Friends. We have this room to like the left when you walk in, and it's bizarre. It's almost like they want you to put like a dining room in there, but we also have like a whole area in our like open kitchen, living room, whatever area for a long table. So we don't need like that many places to eat. It'd be awesome if it was an office, and most of the houses in my neighborhood have an office there, but like half the wall is cut out for where the stairs start, so you have to extend the wall. It's bizarre. We didn't build this house. Anywho, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. And I had a million ideas and I didn't do anything with them. And I was like, fuck, I'm on Temu and I feel like taking a risk. And so I looked up Central Perk and I was like, obviously orange couch. I bet I can find an orange couch on Temu, and you bet your ass I did. And I looked and I did a bunch of research, and it was like $200. And I was like, I'm going to get this fucking comfy ass couch. The reviews are great. They have photos. I'm going to do it. And so I ordered it and I was like, whatever, the card I used, they'll reimburse me if it winds up being bullshit. And honestly, Temu has been really great about reimbursements in the past. I fucking love Temu. And then I was like, okay, there's a green chair in Central Perk. So now I got to look for a green chair. I found one for like $80. That came first, and it was as amazing as the picture. 10 out of 10 recommend. The couch came today and I was mortified because it came in one box. The engineering they did to like airtight the cushions and shit in like crevices, and the whole couch fit in there absolutely. And I just cut the bags open and they went That was such a cool sound effect. Anywho, they inflated, and it's beautiful and comfortable and adorable. So now I'm waiting on the tacky red rug to go underneath it. We're going to move our Keurig onto the little buffet thing that we have in there that we got from Home Goods or something, and make it like a little coffee gossip. Kids can hang out, do their thing over there. Chill room. It's where like the dogs lay down a lot. And it's going to be tacky and beautiful. And I love it so much. And I took the risk and I spent like next to nothing on my front room, and it worked out. So if you've ever thought about buying furniture off Temu, let me be the person who gives you permission to take the risk. And yes, I'll post photos. Okay. Anywho, Cindy asked, what are your recommendations for podcasts, skincare, movies, books, etc.? Podcasts. Going West is amazing. I haven't listened to podcasts, and so let me pull up. I literally just don't listen to podcasts anymore because like I make podcasts, and also I'm always busy. Oh, Killer Queens. I love them so much. If you don't listen to Killer Queens, go listen. It's more like lighthearted, not like in a weird way. It's more You can listen to it knowing it's probably not going to absolutely annihilate your day, but it's still really respectful. And I mean, they've mastered the art of that, where they wanted to create something where you feel like you're talking to your best friend about true crime, but not in a way where, like, when you listen to mine, it can be really, really heavy. And they've crafted a way to cover the cases in ways that truly represent the case well without, like, sucking your soul out at the speed of light. I hope I'm doing it justice with the description, but you should definitely listen. Going West, 10 out of 10. I fucking love Daphne. Prosecutors are always so well thought out in the details and everything that they include. Will always recommend their Scott Peterson coverage, 10 out of 10. Every now and then I listen to Second Date Update when I just want, like, quick, fast, and in a hurry entertainment. Every now and then I listen to the Dr. John Deloney show because I saw it on TikTok, and people call in and talk about their problems and he'll give them advice. Like, I don't know much about that guy, but I have listened to it before and I was entertained. Detective Perspective, if you like Crime Weekly, which is another good recommendation. Detective Perspective is Derek of Derek and Stephanie at Crime Weekly. It's Derek's solo podcast. Fantastic. 10 out of 10 recommend. Shits and Gigs. That can be really funny. They do Reddit stories. Minds of Madness. Two Hot Takes. They do Reddit stories as well. Red Collar. That's Catherine Townsend's podcast. I love her so much. She's so smart. She's so dedicated. She travels for her research. She's an incredible human, and her dog is amazing. She also has a Winston. He's a little Winston, though. I like to steal him at CrimeCon. Ooh. And there's a podcast called We're Here to Help, and it has Nick Miller from New Girl, and people call in and ask for advice. So yeah, you should do that too. Oh yeah, those are my recommendations for now. Oh, Crime with Holly. Military Murder, Least of These. Who else? Oh, Crime Salad. Yeah, there's so many good ones. Housewives of True Crime. I could go on forever. Yeah, they're really good ones. All right, her next question was skincare. My favorite skincare. Okay, actually, there's one I just got, and I'm going to be advertising them soon, where I took out pretty much everything I was using. I'm using like 2 other things, but I have loved it. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but when I do the advertisement for it, you'll know that I truly do love it. I took out like 4 things and narrowed it down to these 2 that they sent me, and it's been amazing. I even had like a cycle, and I didn't get that shitty acne. But everything else I use is Brandify. Brandify has this cleanser for when you're washing like makeup off your face and shit in the shower or the tub. That will melt off makeup like wizardry. It is absolutely fucking bonkers how little you have to use, and that just melts off and makes your skin feel like a baby. Okay, it's awesome. If you're ever like, oh, I need cleanser and I don't really know what to get and doesn't always take my makeup off, Brandify. All right, do it. It's amazing. I have advertised them before, and that's because I contacted the company and was like, hey, I'm obsessed with your stuff. I would like to advertise you. And they were like, sure, we'll give it a shot. That's why I advertised them, because I'm obsessed, and I asked them if I could do it. And I also use like some of their other products with like skincare. Oh, they have a really good tinted sunscreen that I wear a lot in the summer, and I'll use it as primer. There are probably some like makeup people who are screaming right now, but like whatever. I'll do that. I'll use it as primer underneath my foundation and the other 18 pounds of makeup that I use. They have a great vitamin C serum. I'm like all about the skincare at this point because your girl is aging. And while a beautiful thing, like also free will, I guess, you know? It just, sometimes we have fun with our face all the time. So yeah, Brandify, and then this one I'm about to add on because it's awesome. I haven't even advertised them yet, which I guess kind of works out for them because I was able to actually like use it for an extended period of time and take out a lot of stuff that like these 2 kind of combined into. And so I was like, all right, well, let's see how it works. The stuff that it wouldn't like combine into, I do still use, but it did eliminate a bunch of them. It's been great. So yeah, I'll advertise them soon. The next few she asked were about movies and books. I just saw Die Hard for the first time around Christmas. Everybody yell at the same time. Get it out. Okay. It is definitely a Christmas movie, and it was amazing. So if you haven't seen Die Hard, I would do it because it was fun. I don't watch a ton of movies. Jess is into like spooky, scary things. So we watched Smile and Smile 2, and those were fun. The last one was weird. I mean, they're weird movies. And the last one, I was like, man, we didn't have to go this far. Like, you made it weird. But either way, I love my little spooky princess. And so we've watched some spooky movies. I love the Paranormal Activity movies. Once it got witchy, it got a little weird. But also, you get what you get with scary movies. Yeah, I watched that one about the atomic bomb, Oppenheimer. That was so fucking long. And I know people loved it, but I feel like I came in to like a conversation of scientists and like missed the beginning or something. Maybe it was too smart for me. And I like to think that like I'm okay in the brain, But maybe when it comes to bomb science, I'm not the best, I do now. I do know that now. But people loved it. Oh, we saw Wicked, and then we bought it on Amazon Prime so we could watch it whenever because Jessa just wants to defy gravity on a constant basis. I walked by that little showgirl's bedroom the other morning, and on repeat on her Alexa was the soundtrack from The Greatest Showman. And it was awesome. I've never been more proud. Just kidding. She does some really funny stuff. But yeah, that's also a good movie. Can we count Hamilton because it's technically on Disney Plus? If we can, you should watch that. Hey guys, as the years pass, we get closer and closer to getting our little ones phones. And I feel like kids are getting them younger and younger these days. There are obvious pros to our kids having phones, but you guys listen to true crime, so I know that you all know the cons here. It is a scary digital world out there, but thankfully, Gab exists and takes the worry out of that next step in our kids' lives. Gab is the leader in safe smartphones and watches for kids, teens, and tweens. There are no social media apps, no internet browser, and you can track your kiddos with GPS. Gab's devices were built from the ground up specifically for kids and teens, and they're the way to keep your kids safely connected with the tech, phones, and watches kids actually want. There's a clean music streaming app, which my kids love, and for the older kids, there's the Gab Phone 4 Pro with hundreds of vetted third-party apps that can be installed at parents' discretion. There's also unlimited talk and text with Gab Messenger, which is the first messaging and video calling app designed with kids' safety as the top priority. Gab Messenger blocks high-risk messages and content with nudity from ever reaching your child's phone. It is exclusive to Gab phones and even has a parent companion app for easy controls and to keep parents informed. While other devices do have parental controls, they only let you know what's already been accessed, but Gab's phones and watches are built with smart filtration, which proactively blocks harmful content before it ever reaches your child. My kids are getting older and they are all over the place, whether it's school, sports, or just hanging out with their friends. I want to know where they are and what they're doing. I want to be able to get in contact with them anytime I need to. And some of their friends already have phones, but we just weren't ready to expose them to everything that comes with regular phones, so we went with Gab, and Gab has been absolutely incredible. Our kids feel so cool, but it's the cool without all the scary stuff, so parenting win for us. Seriously, I cannot recommend Gab enough. It's been the most responsible way that I have found for parents and kids to embrace technology together. Right now, Gab is offering $25 off any device with no contract required. Just go to gab.com/bigmad to get started. That's Gab, GABB.com/bigmad. Gab.com/bigmad. Terms and conditions apply. All right, last one is books. I haven't been able to read a book in a really long time because I read so many documents all the time. And then I go to bed early because I have to wake up early. Anywho, 10 out of 10, recommend Lucy Score. And then there's Megan. Oh, somebody help me. Oh, and then there's Tessa Bailey. There is a Megan something. And these are like saucy books, but I like them. So it is what it is. Colleen Hoover has some really good books. The whole Justin Baldoni thing I hadn't watched It Ends With Us until after the lawsuit. And I was like, ugh. Now I wanted to watch it, but now I don't. And I watched it knowing what I know. And like, who knew? He played the part. Ugh. I'm so grossed out by men in Hollywood at this point. I know it's not all men, but it is some of them. So disappointing. But T. Blake. So, yeah. I'm gonna complain because Ryan Reynolds hurt your feelings. Like, you contacted her trainer to see how much she weighed because you would get fucked, dude. Yeah, you probably are suing so that you can make money for the rest of your life now that your career's over. Mm-hmm. You thought you were going to be like, oh, Ryan Reynolds went off on me for being shitty about his wife's weight and people are going to feel bad for you. Get out of here. No one has time for that in fucking 2025. We're over it. Okay. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, love you. Bye.